Hi everyone, I'm Christi Kirby-Baron, certified dog behavior consultant, certified professional trainer, fear free professional, and a few more alphabetical letters behind my name as well. Welcome back to the channel where I have taken on the challenge of helping people read between the lines and work through conflicting information about training methods and services on the internet. If you haven't watched the first video, put that on your to-do list. It has a lot of information that I'm not going to cover as much in this episode, but don't worry, this one will still be packed. So for some reason, trainers love to show you that dogs can do an out-of-sight sit-stay or an out-of-sight down-stay in a public place. That's actually super easy to teach. And as always, there is more than one way to teach it. Do they all look the same? Well, of course not. So first, let's review a little bit of body language from the last video. We're going to add to it and learn a little more, and then we'll watch it together. Now would be a great time to put popcorn in the microwave. I'll wait. Okay, so now that we're back, let's have a little review. Stress behaviors include normal behaviors that are just out of context. That includes licking the lips, yawning, scratching, ears back, tail low, head low, just having a really tense facial expression, tense body language. Another one can be rapid, heavy panting when it's not warranted, especially if the edges of the tongue are also curled. That's pretty bad. We saw a lot of those behaviors in the last episode. And this isn't an exhaustive list by any means. There are more, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. So now we want to take a look at some relaxed, happy behavior. Some of these behaviors include a loose body language, soft eyes, ears in a neutral position, or they may be slightly forward or back, listening to things going on in the environment. The tail may be slowly wagging. Oh, and let me interject that a wagging tail is not always happy by any means. But just like stress behaviors, look at these behaviors in context and see if there are clusters of them. Okay, so now we're going to hop right in and watch our first video. I'll play it the first time through and then I'll play it again slower with pauses so you can really see the behaviors that we are talking about. Okay, I hate that I had to edit that video at all because it was a super cute video. It had perfect music, but since there are copyrights when you switch platforms, I didn't want the videos to get flagged, so I had to remove the sound from the video. But now we're going to pick back up, slow it down, look at each dog, talk about it. So here we go. Okay. So first of all, that's 2 dogs and 1 purse. That looks like the cutest harness that you could put on a dog, but that's actually a purse. So the lab in the corner, the chocolate lab, he is clearly kicked back, his paws are crossed, he's living his best life, and he has no cares about where he is, and he's perfectly comfortable. Okay. So here is dog number 3, and I didn't say much about dog number 2 next to the lab because it was really hard to see from that, but we'll get another glimpse at him, so we'll catch him on the next way through. This little guy is clearly panting. Because of the video quality and his breed, you cannot tell whether his ears are back or what his body language as far as whether his face is tense. You just can't see it in this video. But what we can take context from is that he is laying over on one hip. Now, dogs that are in a fight or flight state of mind where they're not sure if they need to pick up and flee, if they're not comfortable, they generally will not go down in such a relaxed position on their hip like that. They will instead kind of remain in a sphinx position, so that they can jump up and run off quickly if they have to. So, given that she is also standing on the leash is not tight. She does not feel the need to hold it in her hand. There does not appear to be an electronic device on the dog that would make him stay in place. So it looks like we are strictly working on harness, leash. And so given where he is, we're going to call this one pretty comfortable. Okay, this is our next dog in the line. This is a yellow lab. Now, we see the panting. We can definitely see that, at least in this still shot, he does not have the most relaxed eye or facial expression. It could be just where I stopped the video. It could be that he was very interested in the person who was running the camera. But again, we notice that he is relaxed over on one hip, and it looks like he even has a front paw tucked under himself, which is another sign of being relaxed. The fact that he's panting, that doesn't really bother me. Labs pant a lot. And it doesn't necessarily mean that things are wrong. It's only when it's also accompanied with many other stress signals that we've talked about. And so again, we have owner standing on a leash, and this dog is not bolting. He's not trying to get away. And it does not appear to have any electronic means of keeping the dog still or in place. So, given the circumstances, I'd say that one doesn't look bad at all. So now we're going to talk about this guy. This guy, again, owner standing on leash. The dog is down on the hip. Yes, we have panting, but given that other dogs in the line are also panting, I think that is probably a normal reaction for all of them at this point. This little guy, again, is, it's hard to tell in this video or the freeze frame, but the ears are forward. To me, there's, he's given his owner attention, and maybe a she, giving the owner attention. I'm not seeing any, the overall body language just looks like the dog could be hanging out there. So I'm not really seeing a tense dog that is afraid to move. So we're going to swing back around. Now we'll stop it again. The dog looked down, and something has caught the dog's attention, like something at the cashier, someone coming in the door. And you notice that the dog took his attention away from the owner, but the dog still didn't make any moves to flee. And that can be a really big indicator. If a dog is comfortable, they're not as flighty. In other words, every little sound doesn't make them just jump and jerk and have to be put back in place. So remember when I said that we would circle back around to dog number 2 because we weren't going to be able to see much the first time we flashed through on the video? Well, here he is, and you can see that he also is over on one hip. I have a feeling this is the cutest little guy in the whole wide world, who was probably a bundle of joy and energy, heavy on the energy, and is doing a remarkable job of exhibiting self-control in this situation. And you can definitely tell when I speed it back up and you watch him move that he's definitely happy to be there. We had lots of eye contact, tail wagging, and that looked great. So one thing I'd like to point out about the video that we just watched, in a lot of the videos where you have one dog heeling around in the store with a trainer, they're often not up front. They're in the back of the store. Now, not all of them are at the front of the store, but the majority of them, if you really watch, are kind of towards the back of the store. In this video where they were on week 5 of a 7 series class, these guys were right up front, behind the cash registers, right where all the action was happening at the front of the store. And I do believe that does make a difference. Another thing that you should take note of is that when you have one person healing one dog around a store, and that is their video, if that dog does not do well on that day, they can just delete the video and try another. They can correct the dog for their mistake and just edit the video. In this particular case, this was, again, week 5 of a 7 series. Whatever those dogs did when they showed up on that day, there was no retake for them. Whatever it was on film for that day. You can take that for whatever you like. The video was brought to us by Will and Alexi Hartman of 3 Lakes Labs, and they are in northern Mississippi. You can find them on Facebook. I'm not here to promote one trainer over another, but when I have videos submitted to me, I will give credit to the individuals who submitted them. When I have trainers who submit videos to me for use, they actually have no idea what I'm going to say or point out. These trainers are confident enough in their training to give me permission to tell you what I see and also give them credit, be it good or bad. If you would like to submit a video for me to use, I have directions included in the video description. If you would like to submit but also remain anonymous, we can do that as well. So the next video has a dog doing not only a stay, but some other healing rounds, some other things as well. And they were kind enough to do before and after. So the first part of their video is the before, the after is showing their work. So I'm going to play it, let you take a look. And hopefully you cannot hear as much busy activity is actually going on in here. If you don't know, I'm a dachshund breeder, and the puppies are 9 weeks old. They are turning into a little gang of thugs. They're having turf wars, and I don't know if you can hear the squeaker in the background. They are super precious. But okay, back to the show. We're going to take a look at this video and let you see what you think. Now remember how I said the dogs in the first video had a foot tucked under themselves and it was another sign they were comfortable? If you were focusing on that alone, it might seem that this dog must be comfortable because the foot is tucked under, right? No. That's why it's important to look at the bigger picture. So this is where noticing that the dog is not rolled over on one hip. The dog is what we call in a sphinx position, which means the dog's back feet are up and ready in case the dog needs to move in a hurry. So definitely not relaxed, and we will look at that again too. The video showed a dog that didn't look happy at all, but even when you take a still shot, you can still see the ears back. There were other stress signals all through the video, and this dog doesn't look like the first group at all. I'll pop them up side by side to help you see the differences. So when you look at the details, it's very easy to see that one of these dogs does not look like the others. You can have a dog that behaves well in public spaces without traumatizing them. But when assessing the skills of a trainer, you need to pay attention more than just the dog healing or doing a stay. Really look at everything. So I hope this helps you see signs of dogs who are happy and comfortable in training as opposed to the ones who are not. This series won't always be watching dogs slink around and melt into the ground. I don't think I could put out episodes like that all the time without getting very depressed. So the next episode's topic puts a magnifying glass on an industry that affects a great majority of the pet-owning public: grooming salons. So stay tuned, like, share. My son told me about a study that found that people will either like or share a video, but not both. So I'm issuing a challenge to you to be a rebel. Do them both. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep focusing on the details to see the bigger picture.